Okay, here we are again. Now, I don't know how many times I gotta play this, replay it over and over again in certain people's minds, but just to make sure that this isn't a game, I'm going to basically show you this little clip, and if I get in trouble, so be it.
As you know, this, like anything, there's always going to be people out there who question the purpose, question the founding purpose, question everything. For
Turn
those
it up so you can hear it.
critics or detractors out there, tell us, why should someone, for those who say, oh, this is a scam, this is a sham, this isn't real, this school doesn't exist, what do you say to those people out there?
Well, one thing I do know is dishonorable people will never let the truth get in the way of a good lie. So when people ask, does the school exist? Well, we're sitting here. There's various governmental agencies you can call or go to online and find out who the owner of these schools are. 2 years ago, I was audited by the state of Pennsylvania Auditor General due to complaints by Negroes who said I was stealing money. So I had to go through a whole audit, and we passed it with flying colors because nobody stole a penny. Last week, I got a threat letter from the Pennsylvania attorney.
Oh, but before we go any further, just in case those people say that he had over $1 million, this is one of the reasons why he got audited. He could have had $1 million, but if it wasn't for that audit, he could have had $1 million. But instead, he ended up with $750. Let's continue. I'm not very good at this. I'm definitely not good.
General's office, who is threatening to take away my school psychologist certificate and principal certificate for engaging in alleged bigoted speech. But he did not give a single example of the bigoted speech that he was talking about. So, I say all that to say that there are...
That was when he was in the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne and all them. And I guess he asked they asked him a question. He answered it. Some Negro or some white woman filed a complaint. He ended up going to court. And they found him basically not guilty of anything. So let's continue. I'm still not good at this.
First of all, I don't believe there's anybody who really believe that we don't own these schools. I don't think there's anybody who really believes I've stolen any money. I don't think there's anybody who believes we're not going to get these schools open. But there are a lot of people who are envious and jealous about the fact that we will succeed. And in order to try to block the success of FDMG, they have manufactured lies and narratives, and they have acted on them. This is beyond YouTube videos.
Thank you.
They have went to the IRS. They have went to the Attorney General. They have been to the governor of Pennsylvania.
Yep.
They have been to the governor of Delaware. They have been to the mayor's office, license and inspection, council persons, anybody you can name between Pennsylvania and Delaware. Every office, every white person they can find has been contacted and complained to about me by jealous black people.
Thank you.
I've been through it all, and this latest letter threatening to take my credentials is just the latest ongoing war that I'm having with the white power structure, but in the interest of Negroes in our community. The same thing Marcus Garvey went through.
Hold on. So, all in a nutshell, those individuals who dare to report to the government, dare to report to the mayor, dare to report to state, the legislators, look up tax IDs and so on and so forth about Umar Johnson, you're basically active white supremacists. Each and every single one of you. Afro Spengali, freaking frack, uh, Zeus and Sherry, aka E and J. You are white supremacists in black and sheep's clothing. I will be getting with you momentarily. Craig and Day Day. Who else am I leaving? I haven't heard from Monty yet, so I'm gonna leave that dude alone. I mean, just those people in. Oh, and Lemon Honor. You definitely get the boot. You are a white supremacist because you basically don't give a damn about nothing but your goddamn self, and you will be dealt with momentarily, legally, not illegally, but legally, since you want to snitch to your LBGTQHIB community, which you are a part of. And Afro Spengali, you the same thing, but I know a brother who's got some info on you, ma'am, that no. I ain't gonna even spill the beans. I'm not gonna even spill the beans, but ooh, sweet victory this is. Shall we continue? But believe me, we'll get it together. We'll get it together pretty soon. I'm quite new at this.
100 years ago, with the Black Star Line, I'm going through it 100 years later for the same reasons. Jealousy.
And you raised a question as relates to how some of us become our worst enemy, and particularly the importance of learning from the mistakes, of learning from history. How do we not repeat the lessons of how do we learn the lessons from history? As you mentioned, great Marcus Garvey, you have a lot of people who wear his t-shirt and praise him now, but not realizing that he went through a lot of scrutiny, not just, like you said, not just externally, but also internally. Okay, some of those that we do praise, whether it be W.E. Du Bois and others, did not understand what he was doing, and unfortunately became part of that chorus, right? Of people who were naysayers. And it wasn't until, I never forget, going to Ghana a few years ago and seeing the Dr. Du Bois Center, where Dr. Du Bois, years later, realized the importance of what Garvey was saying, and he himself relocated. But unfortunately, it was too late. Yes, the damage had been done.
Yes, ma'am.
So when we talk about the importance of not falling in, how can our people not make the same mistake that we made with putting down Garvey, putting down others, and not become our own worst enemy? What are some of the things that you feel that we could do right now not to repeat history?
The simplest answer with regard to what we can do now to not repeat history is to properly educate and socialize our children so they will not be more interested in tearing each other down than they are in fighting against their true enemies, and then they need to be doing focus on nation building. The problem is black children are socialized to destroy each other. The people who are attacking me, not one of them is a success story. Not one of them. They're all trolls and social network rodents, you see. So these are not successful people. At least with Marcus Garvey, W.E.B. Du Bois was a scholar. A. Philip Randolph was a trade unionist. At least these were successful men. It doesn't excuse what they did.
Yes.
But at least they were leaders in their own right.
Yes.
The people who are attacking me don't have credentials. They're not leaders.
Thank you.
They don't do anything constructive for the community.
Thank you.
They're just miserable people.
Thank you.
Angry that
Thank
they
you.
see someone doing better than them, and as a result of that, they want to tear him down. Black people.
All right, that's enough. You got the info. So, yes, but I would add that not only Marcus Garvey and Frederick Douglass had to deal with some type of scrutiny, but Booker T. Washington himself had to deal with scrutiny. Medgar Evers had to deal with scrutiny, and so on and so forth. So, pick your poison. I mean, whether you like it or not, the school's going to be up. Whether you like it or not, these children will be taught correctly. It may not be pretty. Nothing is never pretty. But it will be done. For the simple fact, I forgot to mention Claude Anderson. For the simple fact that it is needed throughout the community, because most parents with black children do not realize and do not understand the importance of the year 2020 and beyond. What's coming down the street? We want to properly train our kids military science along with economics and politics. Military science, economics, and politics, which he is very capable of doing so. These knuckleheads that are online are not capable of teaching you anything besides drink malt liquor. E&J. This is not a game. And probably so they're listening to this right now. But it's like he says, each and every time he posts something, you're right on it. Each and every time he's online or he's streaming, you're right on it. I am very, very glad he is not updating the school. He's not updating anything. But all he's doing is a whole bunch of interviews because of suckers like the ones I just described. Now, at some point down the line, I'm going to hear from Humble King. Some point down the line, I'm probably going to hear from Monty Woodgrain. Some point down the line, I'm going to hear from every single Negro who is basically afraid. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? Let's have an honest conversation. What are you afraid of? You're afraid of taking it. You're afraid that Dr. Umar Johnson is going to do our kids what? A service? Do our kids what? A fair good, some real good. Teach us some real good education. Something that we needed decades ago. Something that we needed decades ago. Something that we need here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Something that we need in New York. Something that we need in Atlanta. Something that, and you know, Atlanta is the biggest, the biggest state, Atlanta is the biggest city. Georgia is the biggest state. Georgia, New York, LA, Chicago. These big states that need proper education to our children who are African. I don't give a damn where you are in America. If you are black, you are African, whether you like it or not. And you need to be properly educated because, like I said, what is coming down the pipeline, you are going to want to pay attention for your life. I may not have the proper education. I was not granted the proper education, but I survived it by a few of my teachers who actually gave a damn about my well-being. I guess that's why I'm here. I guess that's why I got a good job. I guess that's why I got a great family. And I want more. Don't you want more? Or you want to you basically love the system that you're in. Designed by the white man. You basically like this. You may not like Umar. You may not like his stance. You may not like his attitude. But it's something that we needed. If you didn't like Umar, then why would you voluntarily take your ass down to the military, whether it be Army, Navy, Air Force, or Marines, or the National Guard? You're gonna be instructed by the white man whether you like it or not, whether you desire for it or not. Why not take directions from a person who actually gets it? One way or another, some of you are going to regret this day. Some of you are actually going to regret this day. But like I said, E and J, let's have a conversation if you dare.